Joseph R. Biden Jr. of the state of Delaware has received 306 votes. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 232 votes.
A lot to get to this morning after Vice President Mike Pence officially declared Joe Biden and Kamala Harris the winners of the 2020 presidential election. The Vice President making that announcement early this morning, hours after mobs of pro-Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol, interrupting the initial certification of those Electoral College results. The count was called just before 3 o'clock this morning, solidifying Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as the next president and vice president. Donald Trump sounding off this morning, acknowledging election defeat for the first time through an aide, saying there will be an orderly transition come January 20th.
Well, good morning, friends, and thank you for joining us for Fox 44 First Edition. I'm Crystal Whitman.
And I'm Jaron Jordan at 7:31 on this Thursday morning. A lot to get to, but let's start with meteorologist Ashley Ruiz, who's keeping her eye on our Thursday morning forecast. Hey, Ashley, good morning.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday Eve to both of you. We are dealing with a lot of cloud cover. That's how it's going to be at least today and even into portions of our Friday. The heavy rain is well to our east now, maybe just some drizzle this morning. The culprit, this area of low pressure. And we have a cold front moving in, so that's going to usher in colder air. So temperatures have been dropping over the last several hours. 49 degrees, feels like 44. Winds are picking up out of the west-southwest at 14. So it is going to be windy, it's going to be chilly today, and damp. Not going to be very bright. So temperatures out there, upper 40s, lower 50s. You can see that cold air is just moving to the east from the west. And again, winds are sustained out of the west-southwest between 5 and 15, gusting over 20 miles per hour. So day planner, again, clouds are going to rule the day. Only a 20% chance for rain going forward, and that's going to be for some drizzle. Temperatures may not even get back into the 50s by the afternoon. We may warm a few degrees. You see 49, then 53, but then we'll likely cool as we head toward the late afternoon and into the evening. Overnight temperatures are going to be in the 30s and 40s. Tomorrow morning, likely going to be the warmest morning of the next several days, and we're talking a morning temperature near 37. So the rest of the week going into the weekend and even into portions of next week will be cold. I'll give you all the details coming up in a few minutes, but let's get a first check on the traffic this morning. Things are looking fine on the bridge. Things have been fine on the bridge. We haven't seen any major delays or anything like that, which you can see right there on the ways this morning. I-10, I-12, and 110 are good to go. Your traffic is sponsored by Peyton Murphy at the Murphy Law Firm. Let's send it to you.
Okay, Ashley, thank you. Developing this morning, 4 people are dead following the chaos at the United States Capitol as a joint session of Congress worked to certify the 2020 presidential election results. A mob supporting President Trump clashed with police and disrupted the constitutional process to confirm President-elect Joe Biden's win. Protesters breached security and were seen inside of the U.S. Capitol building, including in the Senate chamber. Vice President Mike Pence and members of Congress were forced to take cover as those rioters, some armed, rushed past Capitol Police. And this morning, the family of the woman who was killed at the Capitol has been identified as Ashley Babbitt of San Diego. The 35-year-old was in D.C. protesting President Donald Trump's loss in the 2020 election. At least 30 people were arrested amid the riot. Washington, D.C. Police Chief Robert Conti says Babbitt was shot by police in the Capitol. 3 others died in medical emergencies.
And President-elect Joe Biden is denouncing the actions of protesters who stormed the Capitol. Biden called the protest, quote, an assault on the most sacred of American undertakings. He also demanded President Trump to make a televised address calling on his supporters.
The world's watching. Like so many other Americans, I am genuinely shocked and saddened that our nation, so long the beacon of light and hope for democracy, has come to such a dark moment. We must step up. This is the United States of America. There's never, ever, 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 ever been a thing we've tried to do that we've done it together. We've not been able to do it. So, President Trump, step up.
And President Trump releasing a recorded message shortly after the protest, asking protesters to go home despite his beliefs that the 2020 election was rigged and had been stolen. And Twitter officially suspended the president's account, claiming he was spreading misinformation. The social media site said it removed 3 of the president's tweets after what it called repeated and severe violations of civic integrity policy.
At 7:35 now, our Fox 44's Courtney Williams continues our coverage. She's live at the state capitol, taking a look at how Louisiana's congressional delegation, some of whom were at the capitol when all this happened, are reacting this morning. Hey, Courtney, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning to you guys. Well, Senator Bill Cassidy was actually in D.C. when all this rang out yesterday afternoon, but several other Louisiana lawmakers took to social media to react to everything that happened. So in a statement, Congressman Garrett Graves called for those responsible to be arrested. He said, quote, "The violent attacks on law enforcement and destruction of property we saw today from the mobs is unacceptable, un-American, and they should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law." Senator John Kennedy took to Twitter saying, quote, "I condemn this violent assault on the democratic process and will not be intimidated by a mob that confuses chaos and destruction with strength and wisdom." Again, as I just mentioned, Senator Bill Cassidy was in D.C. for that Electoral College certification, and he posted a video online, and Governor John Bel Edwards also reacted. Take a look.
Wrong. It is absolutely wrong. It is un-American. Period. They should stop. Period.
I hope all leaders of both parties will call for calm, and there won't be any more injuries to people and damage to property, or any damage to the core institutions of democracy that we have here in this country.
Again, those are just some of those reactions, and as we get any more updates or any other reactions from local elected officials, we'll be sure to bring that to you on air, online, and also on our free Be Our Proud app. Reporting live at the state capitol, Courtney Williams, Fox 44 News.
Okay, Courtney, thank you. Turning now to the latest on the coronavirus and the latest numbers being reported from the Louisiana Department of Health. They're reporting more than 6,900 new cases, actually more than 6,800, close to 6,900 new cases. That's now setting a record for the highest daily count in the state. Close to 2,000 patients are in the hospital this morning. Unfortunately, 46 more people have died. Now brings our statewide death toll close to 7,700.
And COVID-19 numbers continues to spike across the state, and Governor John Bel Edwards is continuing to plead with the public to help slow the spread. Now, we've seen yet another record number of coronavirus numbers, and health officials say this is the most dangerous time of the pandemic for us, and we have yet to reach the peak of it. The recent increase is believed to be the aftermath of the Christmas holiday, and officials have yet to see the impact of the New Year's. Now, Governor Edwards grew frustrated as he spoke about his request for everyone to practice safety measures.
Command of the English language is not good enough to communicate that sufficiently. I apologize. We are not going to enforce our way out of this, people. We're either going to do the right thing or we're not. And if we don't do better, we're going to watch a lot more of our fellow Louisiana brothers and sisters die.
And the governor also says right now there's no telling what will happen as far as tighter restrictions go, but says we will know as early as next week when his current orders is set to expire. And the time now, 7:38, and coming up, we're just days away from the Saints wildcard game matchup. How head coach Sean Payton is prepping his team. More details for you coming up.
A full check on weather and traffic. It is chilly, windy, and gloomy out there. I'll let you know how long this cold weather will stick around for, and I'm talking about our next storm system that's set to move in over the weekend. Details are coming up in a few minutes.
Now, your weather forecast with meteorologist Ashley Ruiz.
Good morning, friends, and a very happy Thursday. It's Friday Eve, and it's 7:42. It is cloudy out there, and it's going to stay cloudy today. We may see a few breaks here and there, but you guys are familiar with these kinds of systems where we just have that nuisance cloud cover, even though cold fronts to our east. That's what we're going to be dealing with today. Cloudy, gloomy, and breezy conditions. So a west-southwest wind at 14 miles per hour, making things feel like the mid-40s this morning. Actual temperatures, upper 40s to lower 50s. As expected, temperatures are dropping, and they will begin to rise just a little bit as we head toward lunchtime, maybe in the 50s, before they start to drop again. So we're not going to warm up much. In fact, we've already hit our high for the day, and that was early this morning. So looking at the big picture, look at the satellite and radar, there's an area of low pressure. We had a trailing cold front with that. The storms that rolled in overnight, well to our east now, but now we're dealing with some wraparound cloud cover. So moisture still locked in place. That's why we still have the cloud cover and why we're seeing some of that nuisance drizzle. And that will be the case around lunchtime once again. So that's why we put a 20% chance for rain in the forecast. Around 12:30, temperatures may be in the lower 50s, dropping into the mid and upper 40s right around the afternoon, mid and late afternoon, into the evening hours, falling into the 40s. Notice the clouds are sticking with us. Maybe not so much widespread near the coast. May see more sunshine than the rest of us, but overall, being this far inland, we'll likely have a good bit of cloud cover all the way into Friday, waking up to temperatures in the 30s. And then as we head through the afternoon, clouds begin to clear just a little bit, and then may even see clearing skies before the day's over on Friday. But temperatures will be on the cold side. Temperatures will only top out in the mid and upper 40s tomorrow, and then we're waking up to freezing temperatures Saturday morning and Sunday morning. So a light to moderate freeze is possible across our area, especially north of Baton Rouge. So it's going to be a people, pets, and plants type freeze that you'll need to protect. And Monday morning, when we're waking up, temperatures will be a little warmer, but still above freezing, but some spots may be dropping near freezing, and then we're back down to freezing or possibly below freezing as we head toward Tuesday and into Wednesday. So something to watch very carefully. Also, Sunday into Monday, next chance for rain comes into play, and I'm sure you've been hearing all about it on social media. Still a lot of uncertainties on who gets what with this next system. For now, it does look as though we're going to get some cold rain here. The GFS model is now picking back up on the potential for some wintry precipitation. You see, this is Monday morning showing that purple color and that pink color that's indicating some snow, possibly with a wintry mix, more so north of Baton Rouge. But of course, this is just one model run, but showing the potentials there. The best potential will be to the north of our area, into central and north Louisiana, and then into Mississippi. We'll just have to see how far south this area of low pressure does eventually track. The European model is a bit more aggressive, showing, again, the better chance for some snow to our north and into Mississippi. But again, there is the potential that we could still see that here, just maybe not accumulation. So the bottom line is the uncertainty remains very high at this point. Most likely scenario, especially north of Baton Rouge, will be a cold rain, maybe mixed with some flakes. Could get some sleet in the mix as well. If that were to change, we will be sure to let you know. So don't get your hopes up just yet, but we'll fine-tune the forecast. But you can sure plan on cold weather. Check out these temperatures over the next 7 days. 49 tomorrow, 52 on Saturday, and then on Monday, upper 40s. Overnight temperatures are going to be cold in the low and mid 30s. We won't get out of the 50s at least until Thursday of next week. Let's get another check outside this morning. It's busy on the bridge, but still traffic is moving in both directions. No major delays to tell you guys about so far this morning. Quick check on the ways. Now I'm starting to see some action on I-12 West, most likely near O'Neill, usually one of our trouble spots. I'll look into it for you. That's coming up a little later. Your traffic is sponsored by Peyton Murphy at the Murphy Law Firm. We'll be right back.
Well, we are just days away from Wild Card Weekend. The Saints hosting the Chicago Bears in the first round of NFL playoffs. Our Brooke Kirchhofer is down in Metairie at the Saints practice facility. She filed this report as the black and gold prepare for hopefully the Super Bowl.
Multiple reports have been released that this will be Saints quarterback Drew Brees' final season, but that is the last thing on their mind as they get ready for the playoffs, according to head coach Sean Payton. And it's not just Brees that might not be with the team next year, but also assistant general managers Jeff Ireland and Terry Fontenot, who are interviewing with other programs this week. Ultimately, the focus is on the Bears, and the Saints could potentially have 3,000 fans in attendance in the Dome. Obviously not the typical dome field advantage for the playoffs, but that's how the 2020 season has gone with COVID. Payton told us today that he's proposed a plan to bring more fans in as well.
I don't even know how many fans we're going to have. I brought up the idea of testing 50,000 people and quarantining them in a hotel and having like the most safest Superdome known to man. Scientifically, bus them. They've tested every day, and you've got a COVID-free facility, and I think that's possible. I don't know if it's taken off or not.
After that, Payton was asked kind of jokingly how that idea went over, and he said it could be done. Probably won't happen, though, by Sunday as the Saints host the Bears in the Superdome. For your Go Black and Gold report, I'm Brooke Kirchhofer. Back to you.
And a reminder for you, we've got you covered all week before the big showdown. We've got special coverage from our Go Nation sports team. And, of course, you can get all of your Saints coverage on your smartphone. Just check the Go Black and Gold section of the Be Our Proud app. All right, it's 7:51 now and still ahead in this week's Louisiana Women. We'll take a look back at how a Baton Rouge native is shooting for the stars. Her story when Fox 44 First Edition returns.
Louisiana Women. Proudly sponsored by V. Watts Furniture.
Shooting for the stars, a young Baton Rouge woman has high hopes of becoming the first person to walk on Mars. Our Carly Lang sits down with her in this week's Louisiana Women.
From the red stick to the red planet.
So I've been to space camp 19 times.
19-year-old Alyssa Carson, and aspiring astronaut, has big plans for her future.
So I actually went and I spoke on a NASA panel up in Washington, D.C. And I was just on the panel to talk about future missions to Mars, hopefully in the 2030s. But the other panelists were like PhDs, there was an astronaut on the panel, and then there was my 12-year-old self.
It all started with a question.
My dad does remember me like coming and asking, have people ever been to Mars before? You know, is space real? You know, at that point I didn't know anything about space, and he told me a little bit about like the missions to the moon and how people had gone to the moon, and it's possible one day we could go to Mars. So that was kind of when I first started getting interested in space.
Those questions have since manifested into a lifelong passion, attending space camps, getting her pilot's license, and contributing to space research.
I just fully blossomed pretty much, just being able to see like life-size rockets and build my own model rocket and play the role of astronaut and learning all this information that I'd been, trying so hard to learn. So after I'd gone to space camp, I was pretty settled that I wanted some sort of space career.
Now she's studying astrobiology in hopes of one day studying life on Mars.
Bacteria in space, growing plants in space, studying planets as a whole. You can even study, is this planet habitable?
She's encouraging other young women to follow their dreams, no matter where they may take you.
It's always important that we continue to inspire more girls. We're starting to see more female astronauts, but there are tens of thousands of jobs that are involved in the space industry to send that one astronaut to space. And so it's in getting more girls across all of those jobs.
For Fox 44, I'm Carly Lang.
Well, 7:57, and coming up, we're continuing our coverage on the protests on Capitol Hill. We'll also have local reaction coming up after the break.
All right, mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, mic check, mic check.
Make that pulse rhythm.
Okay.
live. You're watching Fox 44 First Edition.
Joseph R. Biden Jr. of the state of Delaware has received 306 votes. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 232 votes.
Well, after a chaotic day on Capitol Hill, Vice President Mike Pence officially declaring Joe Biden and Kamala Harris the winners of the 2020 presidential election. That count going well into the morning. Vice President making that announcement around 3 this morning, and President Trump also responding through an ad saying, quote, "Even though I totally disagree with the outcome of the election and the facts bear me out, nevertheless, there will be an orderly transition on January the 20th. Well, good morning, and thank you for joining us for Fox 44 First Edition. I'm Crystal Whitman.
And I'm Jaron Jordan. It's 8:01 on this Thursday morning. We've got a lot to get to, but we'll start the hour with meteorologist Ashley Ruiz, keeping her eyes on our Thursday morning forecast. Hey, Ashley.
Hey, guys. Happy Thursday. Happy Friday Eve to both of you. I know it's cloudy. It's gloomy out there. Temperatures are now at 50 degrees, so we warmed a degree over the last hour or so here in Baton Rouge, but you can see it's cloudy and windy, a west-southwest wind at 13 miles per hour. Temperatures from the western portion of the state and the southwestern portion of the state to eastern portion of the state, not a lot of variety, although it is chilly, 40s and 50s, and a lot of us aren't going to warm up much today. With the cloud cover and then the strong winds, it feels colder than it actually is outside. I know Baton Rouge is showing 50, but with winds that strong and colder air is moving in from the west, it likely feels much colder out there. So I would bundle up, and again, temperatures may fluctuate a little bit today, but we're not going to warm up into the 60s, not today. In fact, not for quite a bit of time. If you're a fan of colder weather, then this next week's going to be rather nice, very winter-like. If you like the colder weather, we will stay mostly rain-free, although some drizzle will be possible through the morning to around lunchtime. So coming up in the full report, I will time that out for you, talk about the cold weather that lies ahead and our next storm system that's set to move in on Sunday night and into Monday. Details are coming up in a few minutes, but let's get another check outside. We are seeing a little bit of congestion on I-12. I haven't seen anything really on the traffic cameras, but Wazers are reporting a crash basically somewhere between O'Neill and around the split. And you can see there's a stalled vehicle right now. This is near Sherwood Forest, but still not causing any major delays at the moment. Your traffic is sponsored by Peyton Murphy at the Murphy Law Firm. Let's send it back to you.
All right, well, we will continue our coverage on the riots at the U.S. Capitol in just a second, but we do want to give you some developing news. Baton Rouge police are investigating yet another deadly shooting overnight. This is now the third deadly shooting in the first week of the new year. Police say 30-year-old Sylvester Harrison was found shot to death in a vehicle on Enterprise Street around midnight. A 25-year-old woman was also shot and taken to the hospital. She is expected to be okay. Police haven't released information about a motive, and no one has been taken into custody. If you have any information that can help police here, you're asked to give Crime Stoppers a call. That number 344-7867.
And the time now 8:03, and after a day of frustration and violence in the U.S. Capitol, Congress has just completed its business certifying Joe Biden as the next president of the United States. Fox News correspondent Doug Luzader is in Washington with more this morning.
Congress was forced into an all-nighter here, but minutes after declaring that Joe Biden had won the November election, President Trump promised an orderly transition of power. Protests, the likes of which we have never seen. Supporters of President Trump rioted, storming the U.S. Capitol. But hours later, just before 4 a.m. here in Washington this morning, Congress finished its work.
The chair declares the joint session dissolved.
Vice President Mike Pence announced that Joe Biden was certified as the winner of the November election, a move thousands had tried to prevent as they had converged on Washington through the day, urged on by the president.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
What followed was chaos, confrontations with police, overrunning barricades and breaching the U.S. Capitol. Members of Congress had to seek cover. One woman was shot by police and later died, and there were 3 other deaths due to medical emergencies. Calls went out for the National Guard.
You have to go home now.
And President Trump posted a video to Twitter urging calm, but also repeating his claims of election fraud. Both Twitter and Facebook suspended his accounts. President-elect Joe Biden was unsparing.
It's not protest, it's insurrection.
Ultimately, some of the expected objections to the vote count in Congress were dropped following the violence. And just minutes after lawmakers wrapped up this morning, President Trump issued this statement through a White House official's Twitter account. Even though I totally disagree with the outcome of the election, there will be an orderly transition on January 20th. That following a very disorderly day in the nation's capital. The city here is now emerging from an overnight curfew, but bracing for what comes next. The inauguration is now less than 2 weeks away. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
And as America still has yet to come to grips with the latest events at the U.S. Capitol, Louisiana elected officials took to social media with their reactions. Our Fox 44's Courtney Williams is joining us live with the details this morning. Hey, Courtney.
Hey, good morning to you guys. Well, a few Louisiana lawmakers spoke out about yesterday's events, even one who was in D.C. during that time. So the first person who actually spoke out was Congressman Garrett Graves. He said for those responsible to be arrested, and he said, quote, "The violence, attacks on law enforcement, and destruction of property we saw today from the mobs is unacceptable, un-American, and they should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law." Senator John Kennedy took to Twitter saying, quote, "I condemn this violent assault on the democratic process and will not be intimidated by a mob that confuses chaos and destruction with strength and wisdom." Senator Bill Cassidy, who was in D.C. for the Electoral College certification, posted a video online, and Governor John Bel Edwards also gave remarks. Take a look.
This is wrong. It is absolutely wrong. It is un-American. Period. They should stop. Period.
I hope all leaders of both parties will call for calm, and there won't be any more injuries to people and damage to property, or any damage to the core institutions of democracy that we have here in this country.
So those are just a few of the Louisiana lawmakers who gave statements about yesterday's events. But if we get any more reactions, we'll be sure to give you those updates on air, online, and also on our free Be Our Proud app. Reporting live at the state capitol, Courtney Williams, Fox 44 News.
Courtney, thank you. And this morning we now know that Democrat Jon Ossoff is the projected winner of the U.S. Senate race in Georgia. Ossoff's victory over Republican incumbent David Perdue comes as fellow Democrat Raphael Warnock defeated his Republican challenger Kelly Loeffler in Georgia's other Senate runoff. The twin Democratic victories now give the party control of the Senate. The Senate will now stand at 50 Democrats and 50 Republicans, allowing incoming Vice President Kamala Harris to cast any tie-breaking votes. 8:08 now, and turning to the latest on the coronavirus, new cases continue to skyrocket in Louisiana and across the country. The United States set new daily records for both confirmed cases and COVID-related deaths yesterday. The U.S. reported nearly 270,000 new cases and over 3,900 deaths. Those numbers surpass the previous records set Saturday. Since the start of the new year, there have been more than 1.3 million new coronavirus cases recorded nationwide and more than 15,000 deaths.
Well, New Orleans is going back to a modified Phase 1. Mayor LaToya Cantrell made that announcement, cutting the number of people allowed in restaurants, stores, and other businesses to 25%. The Crescent City has had a positivity rate of above 5% for the past 2 weeks. And with the latest update, it has risen up to 10.4%. And the new restrictions go into effect on Friday at 6 a.m. and will stay for 3 weeks. Well, new information this morning, an East Baton Rouge parish judge has ordered LSU to hand over an unredacted police report tied to a bombshell investigation by USA Today, accusing the university of mishandling numerous sexual harassment claims. Fox 44's Abby Rocha has that story.
Samantha Brennan, a key figure in the USA Today investigation, sued the university in October after they refused to hand over her own police report. The document she did get had key information blacked out, including her name and the name of a star former LSU running back.
It just goes to show that if you keep pushing and you keep pushing, like, your voice will be heard eventually.
A 5-month battle ends with Judge Janice Clark ordering LSU to hand over Brennan's unredacted police records and pay more than $16,000 in fees.
It's a precedent that LSU as an entity is going to think twice when this happens again.
The ruling orders LSU to give the victim, Samantha Brennan, a 2016 police report she filed about former star running back Darius Geis. Brennan accused him of taking and distributing a nude photo of her without consent.
When a victim wants to see her records and there hasn't been any prosecution in multiple years, they're not going to be able to hide behind the statute of limitations.
Brennan says she is still far from closure.
We're not done. I'm not done. This is not a case closed.
LSU immediately appealed the ruling.
No matter what happens in that appeal, we have a ruling from a judge that says that LSU did wrong, and I would bet my bottom dollar that they're going to think twice before they do this again.
LSU's Vice President of Legal Affairs, Winston DeQueer, stands by his statement that the ruling will deter victims from reporting or participating in investigations of misconduct because their identities will no longer be protected. For my full interview with Samantha Brennan, as well as LSU's full statement on the matter, head over to our website. That's brproud.com. Back to you guys.
Well, the time now 8:11, and coming up, actress Selena Gomez is heading back to the kitchen. The new features of her cooking show. That's coming up in your entertainment news.
And coming up after the break, we'll get a full check on weather and traffic. It's chilly out there. It's 50 degrees, but feels much colder. I know it says it feels like 50, but with that wind, it feels much colder. I'll let you know if we have any warm-ups ahead. Details are coming up in a few minutes.
Now, Your weather forecast with meteorologist Ashley Ruiz.
Good morning to you. It is 8:15 and it's 50 degrees. Temperatures have been fluctuating over the last several hours. The rain has cleared, but we're still dealing with widespread cloud cover. A few breaks in the clouds. You can kind of see right here, see some blue peeking in. We have really dry air in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, but just above the surface, we have a good bit of moisture in place. This is all thanks to that area of low pressure spinning over North Louisiana as of right now. So we're not going to get rid of the cloud cover, at least not all of the clouds, for quite a bit of time, maybe not until Saturday. Looking at the temperature map this morning, 40s and 50s. You can see it's pretty widespread across the area, upper 40s to lower 50s. And here's a look at the satellite. You see again low clouds across the area, and you can see that circulation, that counterclockwise circulation around that area of low pressure. Could see a little bit of drizzle between now and around lunchtime. Showing you right there on the Futurecast 1230, showing a little bit of green popping up, so we could have that potential for some very light showers, more of a nuisance than anything. Not expecting anything heavy, but temperatures are going to be on the chilly side. This is around 3:30, showing temperatures in the 40s, and it's going to feel even colder than that. So fast forward to this evening, around dinner time, temperatures in the mid 40s. By tomorrow morning, we're waking up to the mid and upper 30s and some lower 40s, but it's going to feel like the 30s. So the bus stop, the kiddos will want the warm coats, and then the mittens perhaps, and then the scarves, whatever makes them comfortable. But tomorrow afternoon, not going to warm up much. Temperatures are only expected to top out in upper 40s. The IBM graph is showing clearing skies late in the day Friday. It may not be until Saturday, or at least after dark maybe. We'll have to wait and see, but all in all, the clouds are going to clear eventually into Saturday, and that's going to allow us to drop into the lower 30s when we're waking up on Saturday morning. So the next few mornings we'll have temperatures in the 30s. Saturday right around 32, so a light freeze will be possible, especially north of Baton Rouge. Sunday we're waking up to 30 degrees, so another light freeze, and then Monday waking up to temperatures above freezing, but we'll likely have cold rain, maybe even a few flakes mixed in, and I mean snowflakes mixed in. The next system that moves in, still a lot of unknown with this one particular system, but if all the ingredients come together, we could see a mix of wintry precipitation. Now the GFS model is going back and forth on what or who sees what, showing a good potential for some snow in North Louisiana and then central Mississippi and even portions of southwest Mississippi, mainly keeping us along the lines of seeing some cold rain. But again, I do think we could see a few flakes mixed in. The European model is much more aggressive, showing more of a snow event for areas in North Louisiana and even possibly a wintry mix this far south. Too early to tell, but it's something we're watching and we'll continue to follow it. So again, uncertainty remains high. The most likely scenario, especially north of Baton Rouge, may be cold rain mixed with flakes. Southwest Mississippi may have the potential for some more accumulation. Again, still too soon to tell. Hopefully we'll have a better grasp on this within the next day. But all in all, a cold stretch of weather. Temperatures are only going to be in the 40s and 50s over the next few days. Overnight temperatures in the 30s. Let's get a quick check on the traffic situation this morning. Here's a look at I-12. Things are moving smoothly, but we have had a few hiccups along the way, not seeing any major delays at the moment. Your traffic is sponsored by Peyton Murphy at the Murphy Law Firm. We'll be right back.
All right, friends, it's 8:22 on this Thursday morning. Let's take a look at some entertainment news. Just a day after rap mogul Dr. Dre was hospitalized, burglars attempted to break into his West Los Angeles home. Police say the musician's home in Brentwood was targeted late Tuesday night. Security guards reportedly alerted police of the attempted break-in. The suspects weren't able to get into the house and allegedly fled the scene in an SUV. Officers later spotted the car in the area, and after a short chase, 4 people were arrested. Dr. Dre has not released a statement on the attempted burglary, but has commented on his health, saying he's getting excellent care at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center.
That's sad. Well, Neil Young is the latest musician to sell parts of his song catalog. The artist selling a 50% stake in his music to a British investment company. The song's fund says it acquired half of the copyright and income interest in about 1,800 songs written by the 75-year-old rock star and composer of Heart of Gold, Rockin' in the Free World, and Cinnamon Girl. The deal comes a month after Bob Dylan sold publishing rights to more than 600 songs. That's a lot. To the Universal Music Publishing Group for a reported fortune of between $300 million and $500 million.
Wow.
Oh, let's go write some songs.
I know. Oh, man, valuable. All right, so Netflix has released the trailer to the sci-fi thriller Outside the Wire. That's starring Anthony Mackie. So the actor plays an android super soldier who teams up with a disgraced drone pilot tasked with finding a doomsday device in a deadly militarized zone. The movie premieres on January 15th. Ooh, look at him go.
I like Anthony Mackie. I was just looking it up to confirm this, because it's pretty sure he's from New Orleans.
Is
They got
he?
some Louisiana flavor there.
I did not know that. Ooh, I'm excited.
Well, this next person is not from Louisiana, but she's got lots of fans here, I'm sure. Selena Gomez revealing that when she will return to the kitchen for season 2 of Selena and Chef. Didn't even know this was a thing. The singer and actress announced on Twitter the upcoming season of her hit quarantine cooking show will premiere January 21st on HBO Max. The show will feature Gomez preparing new dishes from home with a virtual guidance from a new lineup of all-star chefs. She will also continue the tradition of donating $10,000 to a charity of her guest chef's choosing at the end of each episode. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like
I'll
it.
have to go check it out.
Yeah.
Love food.
Yeah.
Same.
All of us love it. Still ahead on Fox 44 First Edition, we'll take a look at some healthy habits for you and your family. Speaking of all of us loving food, it's fine. We'll take a look at that coming up next in this week's Family First.
with so many things uncertain in the world right now, many people are focused on their health and well-being. Fox 44's Chad Sabity has some healthy tips to keep in mind in this week's Family First.
Family First is sponsored by Peyton Murphy at the Murphy Law Firm.
It's not about what's going on in the world. It's not about our genetics. Our health, our longevity, our immunity, who we are, all boils down to our habits.
Dr. Kian Vu aims to help people live longer and healthier lives. He gets inspiration from those like Baton Rouge native Julia Hawkins, who at 103 years old set records in the 2019 National Senior Games.
All she does is just focuses on what she can do every day. And we could just focus on our actions, not necessarily the outcome. We'll actually get the outcome even sooner.
Vu's recommended healthy habits include physical goals like proper sleep, nutrition, and movement.
Making sure you get 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep every night. Eating whole nutritious foods, getting rid of the sugar and the processed foods, and just making sure you're up moving all the time. If you're sitting on a desk, get up and move, making sure you're moving every day.
Trying to limit stress and keeping emotions in check is also key.
You know, emotions like fear, anger, hate, all those emotions actually lowers our immune system and increases inflammation, leading us susceptible to get chronic disease. Whereas emotions of love, gratitude, connection, all those are actually healing and anti-aging medicines.
Other healthy habits include having a positive mindset, building relationships through community, and having a true sense of purpose.
Having a deep sense of purpose actually makes the average American live about 7 years longer. You lower your risk of cardiovascular events such as heart attack and strokes, and if you end up in the hospital, you spend fewer days having that deep sense of purpose. Having that deep sense of purpose also has molecular changes in your DNA that make you live longer. This is kind of like your body rewarding you for having and living your purpose.
And you can find more tips and additional resources over on our website. That's bearproud.com. Just search for Family First. Well, coming up, we're getting a closer look at the damage inside of the Capitol. That's next when Fox 44 First Edition returns.
So, Cameron, I hear you was talking about me. I'm having a good day, so I ain't gonna do that to you. Are you? Great.
live. You're watching Fox 44 First Edition.
Good morning, friends, and a very happy Thursday. It is 8:34 and it is cloudy as can be out there. We have had a few breaks in the clouds allowing for some sunshine, and you can kind of see it on the trees and on Perkins this morning, but still clouds are going to rule the day. We'll have mostly cloudy skies with a few peaks of sunshine here and there. 50 degrees. It feels like 50 degrees, at least that's what it's saying. I'm not buying it because it is windy out there and we are seeing a good bit of cloud cover that's keeping things nice and cool. Let's take this full real quick and we'll get a full check on the tower cam. And temperatures today are going to struggle. We'll likely warm up a little bit before cooling back down, but overall, as you see, clouds are here. They're here to stay. Some drizzle will be possible. Temperatures this morning, upper 40s to lower 50s, but again, you factor in the wind, feels even colder out there. Temperatures to our west feels like temperatures are in the 40s. So going forward, our temperatures are not going to warm up much. Thankfully, we will stay mostly dry for the next few days so you can go out and enjoy some time with your fur baby. Princess Peppa's enjoying some time outside with her fancy little leopard blanket, though. Some damp paws or wet hooves this morning from last night's rain, but this afternoon it's going to be chilly and breezy. Even tonight, going to be quite cold. Thank you to Jerica for sharing this photo of Princess Peppa. We would love to see your pet on Furcast. Just shoot me an email, aruaz@brproud.com, with a photo and name of your pet. Crystal?
Okay, Ashley, thank you. Well, this morning we're taking a closer look at the damage inside of the Capitol building. Protesters invaded several offices, leaving papers, as you can see, and files over the floor. Several windows inside the Capitol building that were shattered now have been temporarily reinforced with planks of wood, and state and Capitol cleaning crews can be seen working to sweep up the mess and assessing the damage. Meanwhile, supporters of President Donald Trump stormed the gates of the governor's mansion in Washington state. People chanted, "Recount and stop the steal," pushed through an entrance and forced their way to the front lawns of the governor's house. Meanwhile, the protesters did not make access into the home, and there were no reports of damage to the grounds.
We've got our Fox 44's Courtney Williams live this morning at the state capitol with details on how Louisiana's congressional delegation, some of whose had members at the U.S. Capitol yesterday when all of this broke out, are reacting this morning. Hey, Courtney.
Hey, good morning to you guys. Well, there was definitely a lot going on yesterday at the U.S. Capitol, but some of our own Louisiana lawmakers spoke out about everything that transpired yesterday. So the first person we had that spoke out was actually Congressman Garrett Graves. He called for those responsible to be arrested, and he said, quote, "The violent attacks on law enforcement and destruction of property we saw from the mobs is unacceptable, un-American, and they should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law." Senator John Kennedy took to Twitter saying, quote, "I condemn this violent assault on the democratic process and will not be intimidated by a mob that confuses chaos and destruction with strength and wisdom." Senator Bill Cassidy was in D.C. when all this took place for the Electoral College certification, and he posted a video online with his remarks, and Governor Edwards also spoke out.
This is wrong. It is absolutely wrong. It is un-American, period. They should stop, period.
I hope all leaders of both parties will call for calm, and there won't be any more injuries to people and damage to property, or any damage to the core institutions of democracy that we have here in this country.
So those are just some of the remarks from our Louisiana lawmakers, and if we get any more updates, we'll be sure to bring that to you on air, online, and also on our free Be Our Proud app. Reporting live at the state capitol, Courtney Williams, Fox 44 News.
Courtney, thank you. Now to the latest on the coronavirus. COVID-19 numbers continue to spike across the state, and Governor John Bel Edwards is continuing to plead with the public to help slow the spread. We've seen yet another record number of coronavirus numbers, and health officials say this is the most dangerous time of the pandemic for us, and we've yet to reach the peak. The recent increase is believed to be the aftermath of the Christmas holiday, and officials say we have yet to see the impact of the New Year's holiday. Governor Edwards grew frustrated as he spoke about his request for everyone to practice safety measures.
If my command of the English language is not good enough to communicate that sufficiently, I apologize. We are not going to enforce our way out of this, people. We're either going to do the right thing or we're not. And if we don't do better, we're going to watch a lot more of our fellow Louisiana brothers and sisters die.
The governor says right now there's no word as to what will happen as far as any tighter restrictions, but he says that we will know as early as next week when his current order is set to expire.
And it's a 1-2 punch as Louisiana sees another round of record numbers connected to the coronavirus. The Louisiana Department of Health reports COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations are the highest since the pandemic started. Health experts say these numbers are impacted by holiday parties, adding we have yet to see the full effects from Christmas and New Year's Eve.
It's private parties. It's folks that are, having folks over to their house, and then they take the mask off, and one person has COVID, and then boom, you've got a spread at a party.
Say preventative measures like wearing a mask and social distancing are the only ways we can reverse this trend.
Taking a look at some sports news this morning, LSU men's basketball went down to the wire against Georgia last night in the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. The Bulldogs were up at 3 with a little over a minute left to go in regulation. Javonte Smart hitting a big 3 to tie it up at 80, eventually sending the Tigers into overtime. In the final seconds, though, Thomas was fouled, hit a big free throw to put the Tigers up by 2. With 2 seconds left, Georgia misses a layup, and the Tigers hold on and beat the Bulldogs 94-92. LSU is hiring Jake Peetz from the Carolina Panthers to become LSU's new offensive coordinator. Peetz has 10 years of NFL experience, including this past season coaching under Joe Brady, LSU's passing game coordinator for the national title run. LSU also hired DJ Mangas as passing game coordinator, where he spent a year as an offensive assistant at LSU, but then went to work with Brady in Carolina last year.
And speaking of sports, some enthusiastic cheerleaders keep their commuters moving along and smiling in Japan. Commuters in central Tokyo came through a public square, Run Square, and a cheerleading squad on their way to work. The cheerleaders very much playing their part, complete with the rallying cries, the dance moves, and pom-poms. The idea behind their performances were to boost the public's mood in fighting the coronavirus. The group has apparently been doing this for commuters for some time, but it's needed much more than ever during this pandemic. And the time now is 8:41, and coming up, a popular cola company is releasing a new drink, and how soon it'll be available for you to enjoy. That's coming up in your Consumer News.
All right, well, it's 8:45 now, and time is running out for emotional support animals on airline flights. American Airlines says it will ban companion animals gradually by February 1st. As required by federal rules, passengers with a trained service dog will still be allowed to bring the dog on board at no extra charge, but owners of other pets, including untrained companion animals, will have to pay a fee. They'll also have to put their animal in a cargo hold or a kennel that fits underneath a seat in the cabin, and no more letting pets sit at their owner's feet. Oh.
I saw the tortoise there.
Yeah.
I was just watching the video.
No. Well, Fisher-Price is introducing a new line of infant and toddler toys that may make you feel a little bit nostalgic. Fisher-Price took inspiration from the 80s and 90s pop culture to create a new retro-inspired toys for babies and toddlers, a handheld gaming device, a mixtape, and a pretend boombox. A boombox! And it's all part of a new Laugh and Learn toy line. The mixtape and boombox are sold exclusively at Target. The handheld gaming device is also available on the Fisher-Price website.
Look how cute.
Yes, adorbs.
I miss boomboxes.
I do too.
Yeah, those are
Same.
cool.
And then the Walkman, all that, when CDs were an actual thing.
And then hit clips.
Oh my gosh, yes. Had
That was
Britney
great.
Spears,
Yes.
NSYNC,
Yeah.
all of them.
Yes.
You name it. All right. Yes or pastime, guys.
Oh.
Mountain Dew is unveiling a new flavor. It's pretty. Mountain Dew Major Melon is a pink-colored watermelon flavored soft drink. This new permanent addition to the brand's beverage portfolio features watermelon flavor with a Mountain Dew twist. Mountain Dew Major Melon is also available in a zero sugar variety. So this marks the first new permanent flavor offering in more than a decade and is available nationwide now. I think we need to do a taste test.
Yeah, I would
I
say.
agree.
Let's hope that yes or pass until after a taste test. But it sounds pretty good.
Oh, I'll try it.
Yeah.
I like Baja Blast. That's my favorite. So I think I would like this. Yes. Yes for me.
All right.
I say yes.
Okay.
Love to hear it.
Sure, I guess I say yes too. Jimmy Dean is expanding its breakfast offerings with 2 new plant-based patty breakfast sandwiches. One comes on a croissant with egg and cheese. The other is the Jimmy Dean Delights plant-based patty and frittata on a whole wheat English muffin. Jimmy Dean says demand for plant-based food options has grown exponentially, with retail sales up 148% since the onset of COVID-19 in March. By the end of last year, a majority of Americans reported transitioning to a more flexitarian diet, incorporating more plant-based foods to their diet.
All about it. You know me. You know I don't eat pork and I don't, yeah. I love plant-based stuff. So sign me up.
So yes for Ashley. Crystal?
Not yet, you guys. I haven't tried it yet. I'm not used to it, so I would say pass.
I'm going to agree with Crystal on that one. Sorry, sorry Ashley.
Sorry,
It's
Ashley.
okay. It's okay.
I think it's great for people who are obviously transitioning and
Yeah.
more options.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can all say yes on this one, y'all. Denny's is giving away a free stack of pancakes to help celebrate finally being free of 2020. We can all agree, right? Maybe. Well, the deal includes free delivery to get your free stack of 2 buttermilk pancakes. That sounds so good. And free delivery through January the 18th, but make a qualifying purchase of $5 or more on Denny's.com or the Denny's mobile app. However, the nearest Denny's to our area, of course, is in the New Orleans metro. So,
Right by the airport.
Oh,
you know where it is.
I know where it is. Only one.
that's okay. I'm all about that. Free pancakes.
Yeah.
But you have to pay, like, the $5.
That's okay. Just get like a thing of coffee.
Yeah.
Well, no, because watch, the coffee will be $4.99 or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So you have to spend an extra penny. Well, I'm all about it. Sign me up.
I say
I'm all for
yes.
pancakes too. Yes.
Yeah.
Ah, that sounds good this morning, especially because it's chilly and it's gloomy and you just kind of want to wrap around your blanket and just stay indoors. I know. We are actually seeing some clearing, some blue sky out there. Clouds are lingering, 50 degrees. Today is going to be a chilly day, but we have even colder weather ahead, you guys. Details are coming up after the break.
Now, your weather forecast with meteorologist Ashley Ruiz.
Good morning, friends, and a very happy Thursday to you. We're coming up on 8:53, and check this out from our tower cam. Blue sky. We have really dry air in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. Some of the clouds are breaking up, likely going to fill back in. And I was just looking at the visible satellite. Baton Rouge is one of the lucky spots seeing some sunshine, whereas other spots not seeing any sunshine right now. So that will likely be the case at times. We'll see breaks in the clouds, but overall still going with a mostly cloudy day. 50 degrees on the dot right now, upper 40s to our west and to our northwest. We're all in the 40s or 50s. Today, again, we will see temperatures fluctuate a little bit. And again, it's all going to be because we have winds out of the west, strong winds. We have cooler and drier air in place, and then clouds are going to start to just filter in across the area. So showing you on the futurecast, you see breaks here and there. That is going to allow us to warm up a few degrees before temperatures begin to drop. Also, cannot rule out a few showers later this morning. It's going to be very, very light, more so going to be drizzle, if anything. Not expecting anything heavy. This is around 4:30 this afternoon. Temperatures are in the 40s and 50s, going to feel even colder than that. And then as this area of low pressure that's currently over North Louisiana begins to lift to the northeast, still going to be dealing with some of this wraparound moisture, and we should see some gradual clearing, if not clearing completely, by tomorrow late in the day. But this is showing you temperatures in the mid and upper 30s tomorrow morning, and then into tomorrow afternoon, clearing skies. Notice Acadiana is not seeing any cloud cover. We may be locked under the clouds, but overall temperatures are going to be much colder tomorrow. Around 6 o'clock, already in the 30s and 40s tomorrow afternoon. Saturday morning, low and mid 30s. A good portion of the area may be at or below freezing, and this is what it's looking like for the next few mornings. Tomorrow morning, one of the warmest mornings, at least of the near term. As we head through Saturday morning, a light freeze will be possible. Sunday, same goes, waking up to around 30 degrees. And then Monday morning, temperatures are going to be above freezing, at least for Baton Rouge. Some spots may be near freezing, and we'll have some cold rain in the mix. Also, we can't rule out a wintry mix as well, but as of right now, it doesn't look like we're going to have any accumulations, or at least no major accumulations. We'll continue to follow this, but this will likely change. We will have a better grasp on this as we head through the next 24 hours or so. So stick with us. We'll be able to fine-tune the forecast. But the GFS model has been pretty consistent with showing at least the area of low pressure to our south, and then showing our area seeing rain, plain old cold rain, whereas areas to our north possibly seeing a good bit of snow and then maybe a wintry mix. Now the European model, same goes, Monday morning, but it's a little more aggressive, showing more snow all the way into Arkansas into North Mississippi, whereas we would see cold rain and maybe a wintry mix. The new European model data is coming in, so we'll have a look at that. But keep in mind, these things update frequently during the day. So uncertainty remains high. Most likely scenario, it's going to be cold, and we may have a few flakes in the mix. But of course, that could certainly change. Let's get let's show you the 7-day forecast, trying to get it up for you. There you go. Temperatures will be in the 50s. Overnight temperatures will be in the 30s all the way through next week. Let's get a final check on traffic this morning. Here's a look at I-12. Not seeing any major issues on Sherwood and I-12. Quick check on the Waze showing that things are pretty quiet. Not seeing any major delays near the 10 and 12 split. Your traffic is sponsored by Peyton Murphy at the Murphy Law Firm. Let's send it back on over to you guys.
Okay, thank you, Ashley, and thank you at home for watching us for Fox 44 First Edition. And be sure to join our Courtney Williams for your midday headlines. That starts at 11 a.m. on BeerProud.com.
Y'all have a great Thursday. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Unless there's another. Yeah, unless there's another person.
Yeah. Good Thursday morning, friends. I'm Ashley Ruiz with the check on your traffic. It is 9 a.m. and here's a look at I-12 at Sherwood Forest. Not seeing any major issues after a few hiccups this morning. We had some congestion, but that's typical for this time of day on I-12. Nothing to really tell you about so far this morning. Here's a look at I-10 near the 10 and 12 split all the way to downtown via I-10 is fine. Even I-12 if you're traveling near Airline and then going toward Florida Boulevard. Nothing to report on so far. Your traffic is sponsored by Peyton Murphy at the Murphy Law Firm. It's like it's fine when I These clouds are clearing fast.
Yeah, it was cloudy when I went out to break it. No.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Good morning and a very happy Thursday. We made it to Friday Eve. Be sure to bundle up if you are headed out around lunchtime. Temperatures are going to be in the 50s. We'll hold that slight chance for some drizzle. Not expecting anything heavy, but overall just some light drizzle and some raindrops. Not expecting much. We'll see